Thank you for joining us on the Spiritually Curious podcast. My name is Khalik. I'm the host of the show. And this podcast, this is where we do the work of discovering God, self, and enlightenment outside religion. This podcast is for people that think church is whack and they desire to have a relationship with God that affirms them for who they are authentically. What does God, a Siberian tiger, a Ford F-150, and a glazed donut have in common? If you ask what is an F-150 or a Siberian tiger or a glazed donut, you can arrive at a very specific, verifiable, concrete answer. What is an F-150 is determined according to the size, the weight, the vehicle's capabilities, the engine size, etc. Determining what a Siberian tiger is would result in an answer based on the animal's characteristics, the strengths and weaknesses of the animal, its natural habitat, and its diet. What is a glazed donut can be determined by the color, the shape, the taste, and the nutritional benefit, meaning the amount of sugar, fat, and the number of calories. This is because the truck, donut, and tiger have specific locations where we can go to and verify what has been said about them. You can go to the car lot and see the truck and verify if people said it has four wheels. Does it really have four wheels? They say it has seats on the inside. Does it really have that? You can go to a zoo or to a safari and observe a Siberian tiger and see if what has been said about it is actually true. You can go to Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme and get a glazed donut and actually see for yourself if it's as sweet as what has been said and fattening as what has been told about you. You can verify these things through direct experience. We can compare what has been said to them and to what is known about them against what we experience and encountered. And this leaves no doubt to each one of these things' exactness, purpose, and function in reality. So because of that, we don't confuse donuts with Siberian tigers or try to drive around in purple potatoes, anything like that. But when we ask who is God, we face a problem because we don't have a geographic location where we can plan a trip to in order to encounter God like we can with the truck, the tiger, or a donut. And because of this, it's difficult to legitimize what has been said about God. You may say, but God is not a thing. God is immaterial. God is unseen and transcendent. This is correct, but so much talk about God has been done making God a thing. God has been given a gender, a name, a body, a set of characteristics, a purpose, wants and desires, likes and dislikes, friends and enemies, plans for the future, plans for you and your life, and desires and wishes for you and your life. But all this information about God, is it true? It's said to be true, and it's said to be more than true. It's said to be absolute truth. So applying truth to something means that it has been verified, that it's legitimate, that it's factual. The truth is that a circle is round and that the sun is hot and water is wet. Truth about God does not have this undeniable attribute. There's no undeniable agreement to what God is. And I say this because we have over 4,000 active religions in the world, all with a different truth about who and what God is. Because God is not directly available for observation in order to verify what has been said about God, about who God is, then the identification of God is based on ideas and best guesses and theories, not the reality of God, but these ideas and these theories that we come up with. You know, there was a guy I went to school with that nobody really liked. I mean, because people said he was a troublemaker and he liked to start conversations that were controversial and upsetting to people. He was labeled as someone that had a problem with everything, and he loved to complain and to bitch. I mean, I believed it because I didn't know any better. The people in my cohort knew him very well because they had spent other semesters with him. I had never had him in a class. And so I believed him. But when a new semester began, I ended up having a class with this guy, and I began to attach all the negative attributes to him that they said that he possessed. I saw him as my peers had presented him to me. I fully accepted it. But about 2 weeks into the semester, our professor put this guy and myself together to work on a project that was a semester long, that would take up the rest of the semester. And I remembered what they said about him when I was going into this project with this guy, and I knew it would be a struggle to get through this project with someone that was so difficult and troublesome. So we worked on the project twice a week, and we had some very interesting conversations. And slowly I began to let my guard down, and I started to see him differently. We shared some of the same perspectives, I found out, about the importance of questioning religious thought and the development of personal identity. What I was told about him by those that had spent so much time with him was actually incorrect. After having the opportunity to get to know him for myself, I learned a lot about this guy, and we're still like really good friends to this day. So defining who God is has historically been the job that has been done by the church. These are, quote unquote, the friends of God that have been telling us who God is and all of these things. And we go into our lives and we attach this identity to God. So it has been the job of the church and the synagogue and the temple. A priest, our pastors, and our parents, they have all given us this identity of God, and they have all informed us of who God is, and we have believed them. And many times we do this without question. We have believed exactly what they have told us. They gave us the God that they want us to have, or that they think is best for us. It's like an arranged marriage. We're given this idea of God and told that this is who we have to commit the rest of our lives to. But personal experience should always play an intricate role in the verification of what has been given to us as truth. Always question, always consider how what has been said affects you personally and what it means for you and your future. Meaning, does what has been given to me as truth help me to be the best version of myself? Does it help me to bring out the truth within myself, or is it hindering me from being all that I can be? Because if something is truth, it should bring out the truth in you. It should attract truth. It should influence truth. It should nurture truth and bring about more truth. So why hold on to an idea of God that keeps you from being the best that you can be? I mean, if you had a phone accessory that was causing your phone not to work properly, would you continue to use it, or would you find another one that allowed your phone to function in the way that it was created to? Same thing about God. If God didn't create the universe with the possibility for you to be all that you can be, what good is God? What good is a God that has not considered your greatness in the creation of the universe? What good is a God that has not reserved for you the space, opportunity, and stage for you to be a contributor to the created world through your gifts, talents, and uniqueness. What good is a God that wants you to be someone other than yourself? What good is a God that wants you to deny yourself the freedom to exercise your personal truth? We should regularly investigate who and what God is for ourselves. The tools that we use for that examination should be as far outside religion as possible. Not because something is wrong with them. I mean, it's just that working on defining God for yourself, but using the tools that your religion gave you will only produce a duplicate of the same thing, a clone. A plastic bucket and shovel are tools for building sand castles. They don't have the ability to build castles that you can live in. Meaning that if you want something new and different, you're going to have to use new and different tools. So religious language, ideas, images, philosophy are great starting points, but don't stop there. Don't get stuck there. God is beyond language, ideas, symbols, and tradition. We have to remember that religion is like a boat that gets you to the other side of the lake. Once you're there, you can leave the boat behind. I heard that, I believe it was Rumi or someone like that. It's just great. I just never forgot it. It's just absolutely great way to look at religion, still giving it validity, but also seeing that there are methods to spirituality and to taking this spiritual walk that are beyond religion. Like religion can only get you so far, and you have to take on other vehicles, other means to discover God's self and enlightenment. It's just beautiful saying. So practice getting to know God without it. Leave it behind for a while. You can come back to it if you want to. But explore God outside the fenced yard of religion and encounter a truly personal God. Consider what that looks like for you and how you will carry out this particular spiritual exploration. Will it be through meditation, investigating what other religious and spiritual philosophies have to say, connecting to nature, working on overcoming your fears, like getting your soul and your spirit and your body together, physical fitness, taking walks, going into nature, like I said, working on overcoming fears, stress, and trauma, being intentional about who you are and what you want to have in this life, and getting to know a God that is there to help you make it happen. We know what religion says about God, but what do you say? Is God upset because you went out last night? Is God going to punish you for having sex before marriage? Is God going to send you to hell for not believing in Jesus? Is God against you because you belong to the LGBTQ plus community? We're very aware of what the church says about what God is. But what does your heart say? What does your personal experience say? What do you feel versus what you have been told? Because who God is has been given to us. Who we know God to be has been forced on us. We owe it to ourselves to do our own defining and figuring out who God is. There's a movie called Everything, Everything. It's a pretty dope movie. If you haven't seen it, this is going to be a spoiler alert. So it was about a young lady who had a very rare disease that made it impossible for her to go outside. If she went outside, she would actually die. It was really that bad. She had to live in the house, and she had a beautiful room that she spent the majority of her time in. The walls were windows, and she can see out into this beautiful garden that she would just stare into with wonder and fascination. But she could never go outside. She was homeschooled. I mean, everything was inside the house. So she was kept from going outside. She had a particular way of living that was told to her that was the best for her. And her mother did this. Her mother was a physician, and her mother told her that she had this disease. But then something happened, and she met this guy that moved next door. And he came over, he began to visit her, but the mother was very apprehensive against him because the daughter began to have a deeper interest in outside. And come to find out, the mother had lied to the daughter and made the whole thing up about her having this disease that prohibited her from going outside. And it was all just something that she created because she felt like this was the best thing for her daughter, the best way for her to be safe, the best way for her to live out her life. She had a particular way of living that she was told was best for her. She met this guy who gave her more of a desire to be outside because she wanted to be with him. She was punished for attempting to explore and ask questions about why she couldn't do this and why she couldn't do that. But it was always something within her that was pushing her to the unknown, pushing her to want to be outside, to want to know more, to want to just experience it. And I feel like this has a lot. I mean, it's very closely related to religion. Religion wants to keep you from going outside the fence gate of religion. They have a particular way of living that they are telling you that is best for you. And they want to keep you away from people that are outside of that religion because they feel like they're a bad influence on you. And a lot of times you're punished for asking questions. Well, why this and why that? It's seen as a lack of faith or a weakness in your spiritual walk. So this exploration for something deeper, something outside of religion, something beyond is a natural one that we should explore and not allow anyone to keep us inside of the fence gate or locked into a reality that they have created and told us is real. The God religion has given us is simply a concept. It's a best guess. It's a theory. It's not real. And I say that because not saying that God is not real, but it's just an idea because God is not something that you can go directly to and ask questions to and see, oh, this is right, this is wrong, this is okay. It's like a celebrity that 100 million people know. God is like a celebrity. If you think about this, God is like a celebrity that about 100 million people know. You know, you rely on the news, you rely on their music, their movies, their interviews to inform you of who they are. And this is what you believe about this person. We don't know who they are for real, the person that they are in reality. All we have is a theory, is an idea, is a concept, because we cannot directly observe them in their natural elements. And we only know of them through what is given to us, what is told to us, not through what is experienced. So this is why I encourage questioning the God religion has given you. And when you do, you empower yourself. You're giving yourself the power to determine who God is for you. You're giving yourself the power to name truth as that which makes room in the universe for who and what you are. Who God is a question that takes a lifetime to answer and only can be done honestly within yourself and not without and not outside of yourself. You have to remember and believe that God has made space in the universe for you to be your authentic self. So why the are you trying to fit in when you were created to stand out?